Ever wondered what lies beyond the veil of reality, in the realm of the supernatural? My name's Henry, and I'm about to guide you through a chilling tale that still lingers in my darkest dreams. Picture a crisp October night in a secluded town nestled deep within the Appalachian Mountains. This town, known as Ravenwood, is where our story begins. I was there with my friends, Jake, Lisa, and Daniel. A group of skeptics we were, always challenging the unknown, always daring the impossible. We were the kind who laughed at ghost stories and dismissed urban legends as mere fiction. But that night, our skepticism was put to the ultimate test. Our curiosity led us deep into the forest, a place where ordinary logic seemed to lose its way. We were on a quest, drawn by whispers of a phenomenon known only as the Midnight Carnival, a spectral spectacle it was said to appear only to those who truly believed in the supernatural. Guided by the eerie glow of lanterns that hung from the trees, we ventured further into the unknown. And then we saw it, the Midnight Carnival. It was as if an old-world carnival had risen from the ashes of time. Its tents, tattered and worn, stood like ghostly apparitions against the night. The rides, rusted and creaking, whirled in a macabre dance, seemingly powered by an unseen force. A chill ran down our spines as we stepped into this otherworldly realm. The air around us grew colder, and an inexplicable silence fell over us. We were in the heart of the Midnight Carnival, the supernatural realm we had so daringly sought. Little did we know our curiosity would lead us to a night we would never forget. The Midnight Carnival had opened its gates to us, and we were about to experience a journey into the unknown that would change us forever. So buckle up, dear listeners, as we delve deeper into the mysteries of the Midnight Carnival. Our journey led us deep into the forest, where we came across the haunting sight of the Midnight Carnival. The air was thick with an inexplicable energy, the kind that makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck. It was as though we had crossed an invisible threshold into a world where the ordinary rules of reality no longer applied. We were met with an eerily silent vista of the carnival. It was a spectral spectacle with its worn-out attractions, rusted rides, and tattered tents, all bathed in the ghostly glow of the moon. The sight was surreal, like a forgotten memory from a different era, a relic that should not exist, yet there it was, in front of our disbelieving eyes. The Ferris wheel, its rusty frame creaking in the wind, moved in a slow, hypnotic cycle as if it was being controlled by an unseen force. The merry-go-round, with its ghostly horses, was spinning slowly in a hauntingly rhythmic motion. And there, in the middle of it all, was the carnival's main attraction, a dilapidated circus tent, its fabric rippling in the chill wind, beckoning us to step inside. Then out of the shadows emerged a figure. It was a clown, but unlike any we had ever seen. His name was Jingles, as announced by a jagged sign hanging from his neck. His makeup was grotesque, his smile was twisted, and his eyes held a glimmer of something that wasn't quite human. Despite the chill that ran down our spines, we were drawn in by the mystery of it all. The allure of the Midnight Carnival was irresistible. The fear, the thrill, the curiosity was all too much to resist. We were like moths drawn to a flame, knowing well it could be our undoing. As we took our first steps into the heart of the carnival, we could feel the atmosphere shift. It was as if the carnival itself was alive, aware of our presence and eager to show us its secrets. The sight of the rusted, moving rides and the grotesque clown sent shivers down our spines. But the allure was irresistible. Venturing into the carnival, we found ourselves in a world that defied reality. It was as if we'd stepped through a portal into a realm where the normal rules of existence were twisted and distorted. The air was thick with a palpable sense of dread that hung over us like a shroud. The flickering lights of the carnival rides cast long, grotesque shadows that danced and twisted with a life of their own. The carnival was alive with grotesque creatures that defied description. They were the stuff of nightmares, ripped from the darkest corners of the imagination. Their eyes glowed with an unnatural light, and their laughter echoed through the night, a haunting symphony of terror. We were drawn to the House of Mirrors, a grand, imposing structure that towered over the rest of the carnival. Inside, the mirrors didn't just reflect our images, they reflected our deepest fears. our reflections twisted and contorted into monstrous versions of ourselves, our faces distorted by terror. Next, we found ourselves in a tent filled with macabre puppets, each more terrifying than the last. They moved with a jerky, unnatural motion, their glassy eyes following us wherever we went. It felt as if they were watching us, studying us, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. We stumbled upon a carousel that seemed to spin in slow motion. Its chariots were shaped like coffins, and as we looked closer, we could see skeletal figures riding them. The music that played was a haunting melody that seemed to echo from another time. The Ferris wheel towered over us, its rusted cages swinging ominously in the wind. As we watched, the cages began to fill with spectral figures, their hollow eyes staring down at us. Everywhere we turned, there were sights that defied explanation and played on our deepest fears. The carnival was a place of nightmares, a place where reality was twisted and distorted, a place that preyed on our fears and turned them into terrifying reality. Time seemed to warp, and the carnival became a labyrinth of terror. We were lost in a maze of nightmares, our hearts pounding in our chests as we tried to find our way out. But the carnival was relentless, its horrors unending. It was a place that defied reality, a place that tested our sanity, a place that we would never forget. At the heart of the carnival, we encountered the malicious ringmaster who forced us to choose our fate. The ringmaster, a tall figure draped in crimson and black, wore a twisted grin that sent shivers down our spines. His eyes held an ancient malevolence, a depth of darkness that seemed to swallow the surrounding light. He pointed towards a grotesque carousel, its chariots shaped like coffins, the horses bearing skeletal grins. The ringmaster's voice boomed across the carnival grounds, "Choose your ride, choose your fate." The words echoed, bouncing off the tattered tents and rusted rides, resonating deep within us. Daniel and I locked eyes, a shared understanding passing between us. We had to play the ringmaster's game to escape this nightmarish labyrinth. With a deep breath, we stepped towards the carousel, each selecting a chariot. The cold, metallic touch of the coffin-like chariot sent an icy chill up our spines. As the carousel began to spin, the world around us blurred. The haunting laughter of the ringmaster filled the air, mixing with the eerie carnival music that seemed to originate from nowhere and everywhere at once. The spinning grew faster, and the world outside the carousel twisted and warped. Suddenly, with a horrific screech, Daniel's chariot detached from the carousel, plummeting into an abyss that opened beneath us. Daniel's scream was cut short as he disappeared into the darkness, leaving me alone on the spinning carousel, clinging to my chariot for dear life. I watched in horror as the carnival around me crumbled, the once vibrant lights flickering out one by one, leaving only the malevolent glow of the ringmaster's eyes. The choice we made would determine our destiny and lead us to a horrifying conclusion. And as I stumbled from the carnival grounds, gasping for breath, the ringmaster's laughter still echoing in my ears, I knew I had narrowly escaped a fate worse than death. With the collapse of the carnival, I found myself alone in the clearing, gasping for breath. The air was thick with an eerie silence that seemed to echo the absence of the once vibrant carnival. The moon hung low, a solitary witness to the night's chilling events. As I regained my composure, I realized the horrifying truth. I was alone. My friends Jake, Lisa, and Daniel, who had ventured into the forest with me, were gone. They had vanished with the carnival, swallowed by the darkness that had consumed our night. The aftermath of that night was a blend of terror and confusion. The authorities found no trace of the carnival or my friends. It was as if the forest had swallowed the Midnight Carnival whole, leaving no trace of its existence. I was left with haunting memories, a chilling reminder of the horrors that lurked in the shadows. I returned to Ravenwood, but it wasn't the same. The town was silent, its inhabitants oblivious to the malevolent entity that had lurked in their forests. The specter of that night hung over me like a dark cloud, a constant reminder of the loss and terror I had experienced. The days turned into weeks and the weeks into months. I found myself constantly looking over my shoulder, half expecting to see Jingle's grotesque face or hear the creaking of the rusted carnival rides. The haunting memories of that night were etched into my mind, serving as a chilling reminder of the horrors of the Midnight Carnival. I often found myself waking up in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat, the echoes of the carnival's haunting lullaby ringing in my ears. The carnival was gone, but its memory lived on, a ghostly spectre that haunted my dreams and filled my nights with terror. The Midnight Carnival was not just a nightmare, but a malevolent entity that still haunts the forests, waiting for its next victims. And so, I live with the chilling truth that beneath the tranquil surface of Ravenwood, the Midnight Carnival lies in wait, a lurking shadow that feeds on the fear of those who dare to seek the unknown. I never saw my friends again, and the horrors of that night remain etched in my memory. The Midnight Carnival was not just a place, but a malevolent entity feeding off fear and curiosity. It tested our sanity, pushing us to the brink of despair. Though I escaped, the echoes of laughter and the chilling melody of the carousel still haunt my dreams. So remember, the Midnight Carnival may still be out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for those who dare to seek the unknown.